was once the man of steel. She was the iron-willed woman by his side. At number 2 on the list of unforgettable Hollywood tragedies, the loss of Christopher and Dana Reeve. In 1978, at just 26 years old, Christopher Reeve held the world in the palm of his hand on screen and off as the star of the movie Superman.
It was just the way that you wanted to see an American hero up on the screen, and Christopher Reeve was everything about Superman.
But Reeve was more than a Hollywood superhero. He was also a skilled equestrian.
It wasn't a hobby where he spent several hours a month. This man spent 4 to 6 hours a day riding several of his horses. It was a real passion of his.
In 1987, Reeve found his real-life Lois Lane in actress and singer Dana Morosini. The two tied the knot in 1992, just a few months before the birth of their son, Will.
Chris and Dana was a match made in heaven. Love at first sight. They dated for several years before marrying in front of 45 of their closest friends and family.
After their wedding, Reeve continued to act, but he also focused on his riding. In 1995, during a competition, Christopher approached a jump, but his horse suddenly stopped short.
He went over the neck of his horse when his horse refused to jump and landed on his head, and that caused a backward flexion that crushed the first and second cervical vertebrae.
He severed his neck at a level below which he was completely paralyzed.
5 days after the near-fatal fall, Reeve was given a 50-50 chance of survival.
He originally had thought about killing himself. He had talked to his wife about ending it all, and instead he created a resource center to help people get back on their feet, so to speak, after they were paralyzed.
Christopher Reeve did not lay down and die once he was paralyzed. A lot of us cannot imagine what it would have been like to be in his situation. How could you not want to give up on life?
With the love and support of his devoted wife and countless fans, Christopher vowed to someday walk again.
After the accident and stuff, I didn't know what my future was going to be, and I feel that while I'm sitting down, I've actually landed on my feet.
Chris and Dana became outspoken advocates for paralysis victims around the globe.
He was going to be the face for the kind of change we needed, the research we needed to do something about spinal cord injury.
He was trying to have everybody look seriously at what could be done with stem cell research and really look and think about it very long and hard.
Both Chris and I just feel that if we can bring some good out of a bad situation, and if we can help other people through our own tragedy, then we can make it worthwhile.
In 1997, Reeve received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I'm very thrilled to be here. Of course, after it happened to me 2 years ago, I'm thrilled to be anywhere, to be remembered over 20 years, at a time when you think you may not ever come back. And to be honored this way is something beyond my wildest dreams.
He perseveres through the most difficult circumstances. He really does. And this is the most difficult either one of us has ever had to face. People say, oh, you, Dana, you carry him through it. And I was like, no, he carries me through it.
Reeve beat the odds and lived 9.5 years after the accident that nearly took his life. But in October 2004, Christopher died at age 52 from complications caused by his paralysis.
Christopher Reeve died from a raging infection, the source of which was something very undramatic, a bed sore.
Bed sores is one of the things that's very common because you're not moving and you can't feel any pain if something is starting to develop. This can then lead to an infection, which eventually caused him to die.
After Christopher's death, Dana vowed to keep his mission alive. She also planned to resurrect her career as a singer. In June 2005, Reeve performed a 2-night gig at a jam-packed cabaret in New York City. But a persistent cough led to a grim discovery.
They did a CAT scan and they discovered a huge mass in her lung and had to assume, of course, it was some sort of tumor.
Though she was not a smoker, Dana was diagnosed with advanced lung cancer. The tumor was inoperable. Reeve quietly began chemotherapy and radiation treatments.
Chemotherapy is one of the most difficult things we could put our bodies through. In essence, chemotherapy is deliberately toxic to your body in hopes to wipe out the cells that are going haywire. It's exhausting. I mean, you feel like absolute crud.
When a tabloid newspaper threatened to expose her secret struggle, Dana decided to go public.
This incredibly, intensely private person went public to let people know, you know what? Hi, I'm 44 years old, I'm a woman, I never smoked, no one in my family smoked, and I have advanced lung cancer.
Here is a selfless person that has lived her life being the champion for another, and now she is going to be suffering. It just didn't seem fair.
Dana battled bravely for 7 months. But on March 6, 2006, just a year and a half after the death of her husband, Dana Reeve passed away at the age of 44.
So unfair to their child, who really had two wonderful parents for such a short period of time.
To do so much good for so many people that they would never know or never meet or never live to see the results. But that she was willing, right up until her last moments, to continue the work and to try and encourage other people to follow in their stead was amazing.
When we return, accident or suicide will reveal the shocking truth behind Hollywood's most unforgettable tragedy.